Millionaire, ONG cash. Shopping and spending the money. There is no mercy on money. Makawai, Ojiri cash. Millionaire, ONG cash. Shopping and spending the money. There is no mercy for money. Makawai, Ojiri cash. Hey! This song has been it's been living in my head rent free. I'm not one of those persons that um you know get along with trends and songs, but you see this one is like rent free. Billionaire Onyeji Cash. Welcome again to my channel. My name is Kusin Ekanem, and today I told you we're going to look into companies throughout this week. We'll be looking at different companies, their biographies, and what we can learn from them. So you're going to pardon me. I'm going to be looking at my system, things I've jotted down and at this book. Everything I'm talking about in this video, I've put it up together in a template. And if you want, you can just request and you send it an email and definitely you'll get it. So today I'm so excited because I love research. I love looking into companies. It helps me in my journey, and it helps me in my journey. Before we continue, I'm going to say, please, my nails, my daughter, she's using me to practice. So in case you see that I'm having different colors on my nails, it's deliberate, it's okay, my daughter. So I said, I love companies. I love researching about companies. I love looking at what they have done. This helped me have a good sense of focusing. You're on the right track. Sometimes we feel like, I've been doing this business for 5 years. I'm supposed to be here. You feel like, I'm putting in so much. I'm not getting the money. But when we look at other companies and what they have done and what they have achieved and how long it took them to achieve those things, it helps us know that okay, we're on the right track and we'll definitely get there. So welcome. Today we are looking at ROC Cola. I wanted to buy that, but I forgot. So sorry. I wanted to buy that. So I'm just going to put a picture of ROC Cola so that you know the one I'm talking about. So we're talking about ROC Cola. I don't know if you've seen it. If you're in Nigeria, you've seen it just some few years back, quite like new. But do you know that this company has been around since 1905? The day I researched about them, that was in 2021, and I found out like they were been in, like, I was like, oh my God, since 1905. And what's going on? Why are they here? We don't hear about them. We're just hearing about them. What has happened to them? What happened to them? And all that. So today we are digging deep into ROC Cola. So ROC Cola is an American brand of cola. It was invented by the Royal Crown Ginger Ale in 1905, and it has gone through different level of changes. Remember, what our aim here is to see what they did wrong and or what they did right in our looking into different companies, big companies we like to be with, and also see how we can learn, unlearn, and relearn using their processes as a benchmark. So ROC have gone through so much changes. Their names have changed. They have gone through so many lawsuits. They have gone through a whole lot. So we are going to go deep into that. So in 1901, the owner was like distributing Coca-Cola's products. So, but it was actually created to compete with Coca-Cola. It was actually created to compete with Coca-Cola. It's a matter of, I was buying from you people and you people are not doing me well. So, because you people are not doing me well, I can go and start mine, something like that. So they did well. They were created to compete with Coca-Cola, and they decided to challenge Coca-Cola with a cola called Sherry Cola in 1907, and it did very well. They created that to compete with Coca-Cola's cola, Sherry Cola from ROC, and it did very well, and it was just doing amazingly well. And what happened was in 19 in the 90s, I think between 1920 to 1923, they Coca-Cola sued them. Coca-Cola sued ROC for using the name cola, that they are the ones that have the brand name cola. So no other company should use cola as cola. Cola. So actually they won the lawsuit, and ROC Cola had to drop the name after their Sherry Cola Inclusive had to also drop the cola in their brand name. Imagine what that would have done. Just like, for example, you you already know Eva, and somebody comes to tell Eva bottle water that you can't use Eva. The Eva is my name, so they get to change that. It will affect a lot of sales. They will have to do a different level of orientation for their customers, their loyal customers, to say, it's a different name, or it's still us. Because now, when you change, a little change in name can also tell customers that this is not the same company. This may be imitators. For example, recently I saw a company and their soap is Dodo, Dodo Oshun, I think so. DODO, black soap. And we have Dudu Oshun. I mean, you see that. So you won't, most times, if you're loyal to Dudu Oshun, you will not buy that one. So when it comes to names, especially for names that have given a company penetration, changing that really affects. So changing that affects their business. But in the 19 in 1944, they revisited the case, and a judge ruled in their favor and said that they can actually use the name cola. That cola is a generic name, and any manufacturer can use it and attach to something else. So that was when they came back. In the 1940s, business was doing very well. I mean, they were going doing well, and guess what? Arusi was the first company. They were not actually the first company, but we'll put them as the first company that produced Diet Coke. Now, before then, we've had some mushroom companies that had produced Diet Coke, but it has not come out there. But Arusi was the first one that brought Diet Coke to the limelight with their massive advertisement, and sales went. It was created, excuse me, it was created for those for diabetes. So imagine, the sales was doing well. I mean, they were the first, and they were also among the first people that made canned soft drink, canned soda drink. The first. When I read, just digest that. When I read about the things they have done, I'm like, how come they are nowhere? We'll get there. So they were the first that did Diet Coke, and they are the first that definitely they did can cola for the first time, and also started doing big sizes of these bottles. They were the first companies that did that. The Diet Coke did very well, not just because it was for people that had diabetes, but people that didn't have diabetes but were health conscious and didn't want to consume so much sugar, tilted to that brand, the Diet Coke, the ROC Diet. I think the name was Diet Right. The brand name was Diet Right, and it was done in 1958. And later they also did a caffeine free cola drink in caffeine free cola drink um, called ROC 100. So it was doing very well. And by 1962, the controversies had come in. Now, this controversy, marketing is bloody. I would say that these controversies came from different companies, and I would say Coca-Cola may have been part of that. Um, People that fought them for that, they said that because they use cyclamates as a sweetener, that it was not good for the body. It was not good, that whereby people were avoiding sugar, they were carrying cancer. So a lot of publicity was done from different competing brands, that the Diet Coke that Diet Cola rather, that ROC was selling, that was doing very well, was not good for people's consumption, for the health of people, and in fact could increase the rate of cancer. So you could imagine what that must have happened to them. It just brought down their sales, down, crushed it. Ah, my God. So now let me pause to say something. Do you know that that same ingredient is what they are still using till now? Most countries they have come to say is not. What they did was they did trials with rats that consume this sweetener, and they use that to compare that it would affect the health of people. Now, after years of research, they found out that the quantity of this like cyclamet sweetener that the rats were exposed to, humans have to drink about 500 bottles of that ROC right diet cola. You have to take up to 500 bottles per day for a long time before you could even be exposed to cancer from or any other health related issue from that ingredient. You could imagine. And just having I mean I feel somehow for them. I feel so sorry for that company. Imagine what that has cost them, only to find out that this was a baseless a competition, and it was actually banned. That ingredient was banned. A lot of countries said that people should not that ingredient should not be used in their country. So that really affected. Cyclamex was banned in 1970 from being used as a sweetener either in tobacco, alcohol, or in any kind of soft drink. And which that was more like their main competing brand. I can just imagine how that has affected it. And realizing years later that it wasn't as bad. It's just amazing. I also found that out from I was researching about I've forgotten this product, this thing that they said we should know, that's MS, MSG, and how a lot of persons feel like, oh, MSG is bad and bad and bad. And research are coming in now to say that MSG is not that bad, and it's just a whole lot. So if you're coming out with a new product, don't worry, we'll talk about the many things we've learned, but I'm just going to from their story. But one of the things I will say, if you're coming out with a new product, you have to do your research thorough and do the lab analysis of your ingredients to be very sure that your competitors can't use that to um, come against, fight you, or use it to avert your sales. So you have to do, especially when you're coming in with a new brand, a new product, an innovative product. As regards to health, people are so conscious about their health right now more than before. So it affected their sales, and rather than them staying to fight or bringing in more products or selling the ones that were working, they decided to diversify. Now, there's how you diversify and you grow. There's how you diversify, you just fall flat. Diversification is so tricky, especially as a small business. I've diversified before and it crashed my business. So right now, I would also say I would talk about the things we've learned, but I would say when you want to diversify, you should be very, very careful, and to know when, how, where you want to diversify. Now, one of the diversification I did was we were growing, our products were very well, but we started producing so many products we couldn't meet up with targets. We couldn't meet up with the demands. We were distracted. Our focus was here and there. We didn't even have the funds to actually push our main brand out there before we could add. So if you want to diversify, I would recommend looking at Dangote. Dangote have done that very well. He built one brand very well. He built the Dangote cement very well, and built it before diversifying into other things. It took time for to build the Dangote salt, Dangote sugar. So if you're going to diversify, I like Dangote's partner. It built on one thing very well, well known, and had enough funds to play around for other things. And we've seen that Dangote company is a very wise company, because when they try to diversify and it's not working, they immediately shut it down. They shut down that brand. We've seen that happen with the Dangote noodles. We've also seen that with the Dangote tomato, right? So when you're diversifying, because what killed this company is diversifying. They diversified. They bought seven home furnishing companies. I mean, from soda, they moved to home furnishing companies completely, and they started putting in money there. They also bought two fruit juice making company, and so they bought two, and they were just putting money here, putting money there, putting money there. Within this time, they were doing all these things. Diversification will take funds from you. So within this time that they were doing all these things, guess what? Coca-Cola and Pepsi were fighting the cola wars. They were out there with publicity. They were out there with adverts. Their marketing budgets were on point. They had increased their marketing budget. They were now bringing in influencers. They were bringing in small celebrities. They were improving on their marketing. Coca-Cola does so well with marketing. You to surprise you that they spend close to 50%. I think I heard between 50 to 60% of their revenue on marketing. If you see Coca-Cola's marketing, they market how you feel, the market test, the play with the sensories of their customers and viewers to improve their sales. And it's something that we should also learn. So while they were busy deciding to sell home furnitures, wood furnitures, things that is not really there for them, Coca-Cola and Pepsi were in the market, were just doing well, and fighting the cola wars and being well. Now they would have been number three, like the third after Coca-Cola and Pepsi. But while they were just out there, Dr. Pepper was just had come in and was doing well. Also, Dr. Pepper, they had bought the Seven Up. They had launched Crush. We remember Crush that year. They had launched Crush. They had launched the Pepper soft drinks and so many other things that they are doing. They have done. So, but by the time what's their name? Um, Arusi bought from they sold the company to Victor Posner in 1984. Now they have sold the company to a lot of persons, but let me mention this particular person that bought the company in 1984. When he bought the company in 1984, he tried to redirect them back to the original cost of cola, remember, of soft drinks, of soda drinks. Now, remember, by this time, Coca-Cola was already doing well and Pepsi was already doing well. They had dominated the market now. But one thing with this Victor Posner man that bought the company, one, he was arrested for evasion of taxes, and number two, he reduced their marketing cost. He reduced their marketing cost. I mean, you're just why when Coca-Cola and Pepsi was there, so they were just struggling doing then, which is where we miss it most times as small businesses. We'll talk about it, things we learn from these people. So by that time, um, from there, they moved out. I think they sold, and at least now I think is even they have merged or they sold part of their majority of their shares to Dr. Pepper and brought them back in, and that's where we are even seeing them recently. Just imagine what if this company had focused. Imagine how much they would have um, grown. Even if they would have been number three in the soda war. By the time they were coming into the market fully into the soda space, the um, climate for the soda industry and as is going downward. It's not going upwards. People are no longer buying soda the way it was for the past 10 years. The sales revenue of that category in FMCG has really been going downwards. It's going down. People are more health conscious. People are buying healthier drinks, healthier fruit juice. People want to preserve their health. In fact, a lot of persons now, they only buy Pepsi and Fanta. They only have opportunity to drink soft drinks um, during occasions, and these people are just fighting to maintain their relevance in the market, which is Coca-Cola and Pepsi. So when they came back, it was a very tighter place, and they started playing the pricing game and the pricing game and quantity game. So most times, if you go to the market, ROC is a cheaper um product to sorry ROC is a cheaper product compared to cola. So they came in at that point. So it's just been a wonderful ride for them. Imagine how many they have been around for 130 something years. Wow, 120 something years thereabout. But that's just a lot, and they are just there. They are just there. We're just getting to know them, but we are grateful that the past decades they have had good management, people that have picked up and put them in the right direction. So right now we are going to talk about what have we learned from them as a small business and as a small business, especially in the Nigerian and African setting. Number one, focus. Focus. Be focused. Be focused. Know your cash cow and invest in the cash cow. Pump in money in the cash cow and market your cash cow like crazy. Coca-Cola has lots of products, but we only know the ones that have been selling: Coke, Fanta, Sprite. They have so many products. They have there's this orange drink that they have in. I researched them. If you could research them, you'll see that they have so many products. So invest in your be focused. Be focused on one product. Now, which is what I am doing now in my company. If you call me now, Cousin, do you have scrub? I don't have. Cousin, do you have face masks? I don't have. Cousin, do you have this? I don't have. Eh, because if you want me to produce it for you, I can produce it, you go and sell minimum order quantity, you understand? But I'm not producing. Do you have hair relaxer? I don't have. Do you have hair shampoo? I don't have. I don't have. Because it's affected. Last year we sold very well, but we diversified immediately and it crashed us down. So focus. What brought me to the limelight is black soap. And as at when I noticed that when I was focused on the black soap alone and the soaps alone, we grew exponentially, as in we grew upward, and we started diversifying. And as a small business, most times when we want to diversify, we don't have enough funds to put in the marketing of those products, to put in the proper development of those products, to put in the testing and all that it needs for those products to be stable. And at the end of the day, we are taking money from this cash cow that we have not fed. Like this, our other company has not even not even stood up. It's still crawling. We just noticed that it do one step. As a child learns to, lie down, then sit, then crawl, then stand, then take one step and start walking. Now, what happens is most times when we just see as our company just takes one step, we don't go produce another one, we don't blow. No. We have to allow the companies not just stand but walk before we give birth to another company, because companies are like babies, they are like children. We have to nurture them. These are things I wish I had known earlier. We need to nurture them. They are like babies, they are like children. We need to care for them. We need to clean them up. We need to clean their poo-poo. We need to allow them to fall. Need to allow them to rise up. We need to allow them. So not when it's just taking the first step, the next thing we are adding another company, another product, another brand. We don't have that fun to do that. We don't have those amount of expertise, teamwork, employees, human resources, machineries to carry such. And when we do that, we shut down. So one thing we should learn from ROC is to be focused and to not rush to diversify. And when we talk about focus, not just focus in terms of products right now, focus also in terms of market. We all want to hear we are in the whole 36 states in Nigeria. We are in different African country. I know of this particular pharmaceutical distribution company, I'm not going to call name, that diversification is what killed the business. The business was doing very well, and the next thing they were opening branches everywhere, 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 and it killed them. He made the owner of the business to sell out more shares than the person is supposed to have sold, because she was expanding. She thought she was expanding, but she was losing her stake in her company. You understand? So you need to know when to diversify, not just in products, but in markets. If all we need is to focus in a market and with one product, look at Dudu Oshu. Dudu Oshu is everywhere. Is in all, so long as it's Africa. What made people know African black soap is Dudu Oshu. The every other thing we are doing, cup black soap, lightning black, is Dudu Oshu. Dudu Oshu, I've had only Dudu Oshu for 30 years, 30 something years or 20 something years. And they have, imagine how far they have been. But we 2 years, we added another product. Oh no, wow. So no, focus. Focus on a product and focus on a market, which is what I'm doing right now. Focus on a product, focus on the market, dominate that market, dominate that environment. Get the product should come out in different variants, the product should come out in different sizes, the product should be marketed, the product should be invested in, the product should just give that product all it takes. When it has grown, then you can add another baby. Have you seen a woman that, those women that give birth to children in staircase, 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 staircase? If you see, those women are always stressed. They always have high BP. They always have hypertension, arthritis. Their waist is paining them. Their back is paining them. It's the same thing with company. If you're a company owner and you have so many baby company, you will not sleep well. You will be stressed. You will have headache. You have fatigue. It will affect your marriage. It will affect your children. It will affect your finances. It's just not worth it. So number one, we've learned from that. We should be focused and we should know when to diversify. Number two, we should never play pricing game, and we should decide on our own what we want in the market. It's not a matter of I am out to remove my competitor. No, it's a matter of Nigeria is 200 million. I want. Okay, so we are back. Sorry, I'm standing now, so my camera will go hot and all. So it's a matter of Nigeria is 2 million persons in Nigeria, and I want to sell to 10% of that population, or I want to sell to 1% of that population, I want to sell to 20% of that population, I want to sell to 50%. So it's your company issue. It's not an issue of my competitor. I'm pursuing them, I'm following them, I'm benchmarking them. Once you do that, you will miss it, because you will now be tied in that price war. You will now be tied in trying to create substantial goods, yes, that will not meet quality, because you're trying to meet up with the person. So number one, we said focus, know when to diversify. Number two, we are saying create your own competition. This year I want to sell 100 pieces of my product, next year I want to sell 200%, and you're just growing and you're just doing what you need to do. So number three, thing we are going to learn from them is create a marketing budget, a good marketing budget. Don't say you're a small business and you don't have to market. Don't say it's recession, so we are not marketing. No, there have been recession before. In fact, most of the great companies that we love right now, they were bettered during recession. So it's not new. So we have to look at what they were doing. Now, from research I've done, I found out that companies that stopped marketing because there was recession, company that stopped marketing because there was pandemic, those companies that stopped marketing because there was recession, and companies that stopped marketing because there was pandemic and crisis and all those companies fizzled out. But the companies that continued despite recession, despite the economic situation, those companies were able to scale through that economic times and still remain much more relevant than their counterparts that shied away from marketing. So create a marketing budget and stick with it. Most of us, marketing brought us here. Doing ads online brought us here. Doing ads on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube brought us here, and we get here, and what do? We relax. I now have these customers, so I'll relax. No, whatever took you there, when we get there, you have to intensify it. You have to build on that. You have to keep doing more and more on that. So that's another thing we've learned from there. I think the sitting down helps me, so I'm going to sit down. So look at what brought you here and continue doing that. Don't stop because you've gotten here. Now, the next thing we're talking about, which is the fifth thing, which is very important, is build your management team and get the right people to do the business for you. We can't all claim we are CEO, we are CEO, your CEO, your CEO, your annual returns, your annual sales returns is just 1 million naira. Your CEO, your annual sales return is just 2 million naira. Your CEO, your CEO. No, drop that title. If you need to go get a CEO to run your business properly, please get a CEO and run your business that will help you run the business product properly. You can even just stay as production manager in your company, on because company goes through different stages. It's your company. If you can't get the job done, get the right person. One of the key things that brought down Arusi is that they didn't have the right people to do the job for them. They didn't have the right people to do the job for them. So you get the right persons to do the job for you and pay them, because they are going to help you grow your business to the next level. When I did that for my company, and the few times I've done that, getting the right persons, I've spent more, but it has helped me to get in the right direction. So get your leadership and your management team, get it at the right place. It's very important. So that's one of the things we've learned from them, and we're going to implement these things in our businesses, and we'll just do these 5 things that maybe they didn't know for 2 years, and see how your business will go. Number one, focus on a brand and on a market. Build your capacity in that brand. For example, when I was in Uyo and I focused my energy in Uyo and with black soap, if you googled black soap seller in Uyo, black soap, so long as you put Uyo, it was only my name that was coming out. You understand? And I didn't do any about. People will come to say me, "Cousin, what did you do? What did you do?" Session. No, I focused. I was selling only in Uyo, and it was from Uyo that my products were got to be known in Alhambra, in Lagos, and in everything, because I focused on my base. So let's focus on one brand and one location. Build that, get it to work, get it to run, allow it to crawl, allow it to breathe, and then we add another baby. Another baby may be another location, another baby may be another brand, another product. But if you have the funds to do that, yes, to want to diversify, and you feel it's time to diversify, yes, you can. So we've talked about focus, we've talked about knowing when to diversify, we've talked about competing within you, knowing what you want as a company. You understand? Knowing what you want as a company. Then another thing I'm gonna add for us as a small business is that look for markets that has numbers. Now, Arusi may not be number one, number two, number three in the cola war, but they are making good revenues because they are in an industry. They are in the FMCG industry. FMCG means fast moving consumer goods. We're going to talk about that in one of our videos. Please, if you've not subscribed, subscribe. If you've not liked, like, so that we'll talk about that. So they are in the FMCG industry that deals with numbers and turnover. So though they are not number one, number two, number three, number four, they are making money. They are making money. Their revenue is high because they are in that category that allows that even if you're selling to 1%, you will sell. So yes, you should do that. We've also talked about our management team, that we are going to invest in our management team. We are going to get the right people. We are not just going to claim CEO because we are the owner of the company. Dangote is not the owner, is not the CEO of his company. Femi Otedola is not the owner, is not the CEO of his company. We have so many persons that have great companies that they are not the CEO of the company. So let's learn to get the right people to manage our companies and teach us how to do these things right. So yes, let's be open to all that. And we've talked about a whole lot, and I know these things we've talked about is going to help your business, and we'll be able to grow and scale bigger and finer. So the next time we'll be talking about another company. We'll be talking about Unilever. We'll be talking about P&G, and we'll now start talking about our indigenous brands in Nigeria and how they were able to grow. One of them I have always loved is Access Bank. I love their growth process. We'll talk about them. We'll dive through their history and how they have been able to grow, what they are doing right, and what we can learn from them. We'll also get to talk about other different businesses that are in Nigeria. I love the Show Soap and what they are doing. So we have a whole lot. So just, hang in here. We have so many things we'll be talking about and so many things we'll learn as small businesses, and what mistakes I have made also as a business owner, and what you can also learn. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kusin Ekanem. Till next time, please do the right thing for your business and don't give up. Remember, we talked about consistency and persistency. Don't give up. Just continue doing it one step at a time, and the next thing we are going to see ourselves making those monies that we all desire. Goodbye.